Welcome to River City Plus. It's the show after the show, and I'm continuing the conversation we started on live with Sarah from Summa Salts, and Kim from Lola Farms. And so Sarah, she turned me on to a new way to enjoy Swiss chard, made it all creamy and stuff. So I don't know if you can see that, but it's all nice and purple.
Beautiful purple color. It's all from the stems.
Yeah, it's from the stems. And then Kim, she was talking about, we started a little discussion. She does all things pork, and I am here for it. So really quick, we had the discussion there, but for those that don't know what Lola Farms is, break it down.
So we are a relatively local farm. We're about an hour from Jacksonville. We do the markets over here at Ram and Jack Russell Park on the weekends. We focus on raising rare heritage breeds on our farm. They are known for their quality of pork. A lot of marbleization within the meat itself, so when you cook it, it really renders down into a beautiful product. It's salt and pepper pork. You know, you keep your seasoning simple. Which is why we love working with Sarah, because she's got all the flavors you could ever want in her sea salts.
I don't know if they could hear me chewing during your whole conversation. I was listening to myself. So she cooked a little pork chop earlier, and so she's cooking this out over here, but I'm just gonna sit over here and enjoy. So yeah, something to consider if you don't know about Summa Salts. Flavored salt, who knew that was a thing? Mm-hmm. So I just knew Himalayan and then sea salt, and then Sarah's like, let me blow your mind. So your salts are flavored.
Yeah, and they're all made with herbs and peppers. We grow our local source, so we always have new flavors. We put vampire killer on all of your stuff today, which is our garlic salt. So we use like the big bagged brine for the brining of the chop, and then I use the vampire killer grinder on your Swiss chard. But that's how you got that garlicky taste in all of your food you're eating right there.
So let's talk about brining, because I know that's an integral part about prepping your meat, whether it's chicken, pork, whatever. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of times I've done it, and then I get through, and I'm like, maybe I didn't season it enough. So how much salt or whatever are you supposed to add for brining to make sure that it seasons all the way through? And how long do I let it sit?
So good questions. Typically, I'm running late on making dinner at home, so I usually do a short brine with my stuff. But you can actually dry brine your pork chops, poultry, whatever you're doing, anywhere from like 30 minutes prior to getting it on the stove to 24 hours in the refrigerator. So obviously the longer you brine it, you're gonna have that more intense flavor.
So when it comes to brining, is that with the water, or is that just rubbing it and letting it?
The dry brining is gonna be a rub. Mm-hmm. You know, you rub it down, and what that's gonna do is really help create a juicy meat product without diluting the flavor. So where you can do a wet brine, but you're gonna lose some of that pork flavor or chicken flavor in that water that it's sitting in. So that's the beauty of a dry brine.
So when is a good time to use one over the other, or just preference?
I think it's preference. Mm-hmm. Me, I'm a dry briner.
Yeah. We're lazy cooks, me and Kim. Yeah. We like to make it as easy as possible. That's why everything you're seeing here is just a couple ingredients. There's salt, there's pork, there's Swiss chard, there's cream. That's it. So it's just way simpler to toss it on there, let it come to room temperature too. That's one of the other hacks to cooking meat properly at home. So I will salt it and let it come to room temp, all in the same, especially steaks or big chops like this. And then once it's at room temperature, it's probably brined up enough.
So after you've brined it, cooked it and all that, what about resting on the other side?
So
do we have to, or do we just go right in?
No.
I'm trying to enhance my diet. My plating is suspect, but but talking about what you were saying with the, you're like, I just use these 3 or 4 ingredients. That's pretty major, because a lot of us over to saturate. I was telling somebody when I used to make steak, I'd put Worcestershire and all these other stuff on there, and it would be fun. But then I was watching some chefs and stuff, and they're like salt, pepper, and then, I usually put butter in my pan, whatever, and cook it out like that. And then once I went to that, I'm like, I mean, the other tasted great, but I like the simplicity of this, and it kind of lets the meat or whatever your meat or your vegetables, it lets them speak for themselves.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's more functional to be able to actually cook dinner that way. And I always tell people, the stuff at the restaurant you're tasting, it tastes good because they brined it, because they did it this way. They salted it. There's the best restaurants in the city are the best because they're not as scared of salt. So you really need to make sure that you're doing it the way that they do it at the restaurant if you want to taste taste that way. And that means salt, that means a little bit of butter sometimes, it means a little bit of cream. But it's about doing that like scientific process of letting it be at room temperature, brine it up, you know, let it rest, like do all the things that they do in the restaurant, and then you'll have that same experience at home, and you can do it for a fraction of the cost or with a great heritage pork chop you can't even get at the restaurant.
So I was today years old when I realized I'm supposed to let my meat come to room temperature.
Well, it's just like, it's shocking, right, to the meat to not have it be at that, like a little bit closer to what the pan is. And that, sometimes you get like that raw middle and overcooked outside situation. That's like from that, because, you know, the outside maybe has like cooked real fast, but the inside's like maybe still cold. So even, you know, like half frozen stuff still, like that's why you have those problems, because the meat, if it's all at one temp, once you put it in the pan, it gets that real good caramelization, but it's still a little tender and pink in the middle, so.
I like it. So let's talk about collaboration. So you guys, I figure you met at RAM, so they're always out at Riverside Arts Market, Atlantic Beach Farmers Market.
Yeah.
So what I find cool about the local vendors here is you guys meet up, and it's not like a major competition. I mean, yeah, you guys have things that are together, but even still, you can have somebody that's doing something maybe the same, maybe a little different, but you guys support each other in so many different ways. So why is that, and how important is it that lives?
Well, you're actually a little incorrect that we met at RAM, because I met Kim trying to find local food for my own family. I was searching for local meats and pork, and she's the pork queen in Jacksonville. And so I just kind of started finding her by trying to find local food. And so the reality of what we do is that a lot of us are here because this is the way we like to eat. And we can't exist alone. She can't sell pork without salt. I can't sell salt without pork and vegetables. And we all have to be able to be functional for our market to really be well-rounded. And our competition is not each other. Our competition is corporations and large corporate farms and industrial farms and things like that. We are only each other's best asset and ally. And that's true for all the farmers at both farmers markets that we attend.
Now, you know how they say, like, you get local honey and stuff and that, so does that trail for the same with, like, your meats and stuff?
Little honey sauce, little honey apple topping on top of the chop.
Like, you know how they're like, you get local honey and it gives you the allergens or whatever, so I don't know if that translates.
I'm a believer that, especially in today's day and age, being best friends with your farmer will get you a long way. Knowing where your meat comes from, knowing how it was raised, you know, the humane practices that are used. You know, it takes us about a year to raise our animals up to processing size. So they spend a lot of time out on pasture, living their best lives. So really getting to know who is putting that product on your plate. You know, so you can feel confident about what you're eating and enjoy what you're eating, and connecting with that process again. We're so disconnected from where our meats come from these days, and it's we need to bring that back. We need to bring that back. We really need to talk face to face, be on first name basis with your farmer, come to the markets and support the vendors that are out there, because we're all out there doing what we love because we're passionate about it. But that's our store. That's where we go. That's how we promote each other. And
but that's how we eat. We really eat each other's food all the time.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, we're talking about all that. So, you know, we're talking about the pork queen. So we've got pork chops. That means some sausages. And would you say you had pork tenderloin the other?
So, well, that is a special gift because I do know my farmer by the first name basis. So I got a really wonderful gift at the holidays from her of a pork tenderloin. But she sells lots of sausages and Dewey sausage and maple sausage. The hot breakfast sausage is a staple around our house. So any kind of sausage. The bratwurst burgers is one of the things of hers that people do that face. Yeah, every time I talk about the bratwurst, look at that face. Yeah, the bratwurst burgers are a real big hit that she has. So there's just all kinds of, and that's what I tell people. I was talking recently to somebody. I was like, "That's all the things you're missing in a grocery store too. Like you don't have watermelon radishes. There aren't heritage pork chops. You can't even get these things in the grocery store. It's impossible. So the food at the market is unique. It's like you said, even the allergy things, like these things about our land and getting our food for them are just better for our health. Even the nutrients in the Swiss chard is so much higher than something you'd get at the grocery store because I just got it harvested from the farmer yesterday. So it's at its peak nutritional value right now. And so when you eat this, you're really getting a lot of nutrients along the way.
So you guys are at Ram and Atlantic Beach Farmers Market.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about those experiences. They can find you tomorrow and Sunday.
Yeah, so they are both very different experiences, that is for sure. Riverside Arts Market, if you have not been, is the largest arts farmers market. It is on every single list of best things to do in Jacksonville. So if you have not experienced the experience of Riverside Arts Market, you have to do it. But Atlantic Beach Market is more of a community market. Our purpose there is to serve the community of Atlantic Beach good, healthy, quality food. And so it is a park. It is in a neighborhood. It's not a hustle and bustle kind of thing. It's have a little coffee, meet your farmer, have a a little chat.
It's a happy place.
Yes, it's a very happy
just a
place.
happy place.
It really
Very,
is.
like, you know,
Very, like,
relaxed and laid back.
Yeah.
All right, so Ram is what, 11 to 3? Tomorrow?
10 to 3, yeah, 10 to 3.
tomorrow, and then what's the other one?
10 to 2.
On Sunday.
On Sundays, yep, and get there early if you want to get access to these chops. Yeah.
Let me tell you, I've been slow nibbling. I've been trying to hold a
10.
conversation, but this over here is
He just can't stop eating this pork chop.
We've got the newbies over here, and they're like, Rance, are you going to share? And I'm like, yeah. I
She brought plenty. She brought plenty.
you know, back in the day, I probably would have housed them. All right, so if, let's say they don't catch you out at Ram, they can connect with you how? Socials and all of that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely.
So do you want to give your social?
Yeah, so you can find us on Instagram at Lola Farms, and then also our website, lolafarms.com.
And
mine is Summa Salts, Summa Salts. You can get me on Instagram to learn about all of these local food makers, or my website, Summa Salts, to buy the salts.
you are a big purveyor and letting people know these salts are expansive. There's so many different flavors. I got them, and half the time I'm like, I don't know what we're doing. We're just going to see what happens.
Put it on everything. Put it on everything.
Tell you, this pork chop, what? My Friday
killer.
is fire. And that's a vampire?
That's what's on there.
Vampire
That's why
killer.
it's so good.
Yeah, so, all right, gang. So you guys have a great weekend. There's a lot popping off. We hope you guys stay safe. And, oh, gosh, all the flavors and aromatics are hitting me. Like, go eat. We will see you Monday for more River City Plus, and, of course, at 9:30 for River City Live.